Yeah, I mean, just subscribe to the Triple B, okay? That's all I've got to say, yeah? Yeah, thanks, Moses. God bless you. God bless you. I'm looking forward to seeing your career progress, and it will progress. Unbeaten in the amateurs and the pros. Moses Enrico Itauma, a good Christian man. God bless him. Right, so, wow, we've got. I thought I'd do a few, a series of videos on future super fights. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of future super. People always talk about things that might happen now. What happens? What happens in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Especially in the heavyweight division, right? The king of the division, the blue ribboned division, as Adam Smith would say. The blue ribbon division, isn't it, Matthew? Yeah. So and it's gonna get good. I think after the guys Zhong, Tyson Fury's obviously retired allegedly. Gay J, after they've gone. Who are the other bums? Deontay Wilder, he's gone. After all them guys swiped, obviously Dubois is going to be around. I think he's only 26. But I'm not going to check. Can't be asked. In fact, yes, I am. Yep, yeah, I definitely because I've got this OCD thing. I don't like saying things wrong. And when I catch myself on videos, watch it later, and I've done wrong, I'm like annoyed at myself. I called Daniel Dubum, David Dubum was. Anyway, whatever. Dubum is 27, actually. I just looked. So, but whatever. So he's still young, yeah, especially by heavyweight standards. But if you're going to get rid of Zhang, Fury, Wilder, Gay, Jay, there's a new bunch coming up, and they're all good. And some of them are older, like Dubum and Zhalolov. Some of them are like young, like Moses Itauma, Richard Torres Jr. is 25. Itauma's 20. And thankfully, we're going to stop hearing the whole, I'm so bored of it. He's trying to be the youngest heavyweight champion since Mike Tyson. Well, that runs out this year. And that was never going to happen. It's so boring. If you know anything about boxing, you wouldn't ask the same question that everyone else is asking. It's just boring. And I bet Itama's bored of it. He probably rolls his eyes. Itama's a bright guy. And I've never seen, I said it before, I've never seen a youngster with so much maturity. The way he holds himself, the way he speaks. Also, physically. I sometimes wonder, because he's born in Slovakia, right? He's got a Slovakian mother, and I think it's he's got an African father of some description, Nigerian, I think. And, sometimes I'm thinking, come on, man, he looks 30. I wouldn't say he's got a receding hairline for sure, but he's got a high hairline. I'm like, if I saw that guy in the street, I think he was 30. But I've also known people that have met him in the gym, and they're like, no, he looks way younger in real life, and he's quite smiley in that. But whatever. Otama's been billed quite rightly as the future of heavyweight boxing, but you never know. Obviously, there's other guys there. Zhalolov, Richard Torres Jr. Some people say Torres is overrated and he's all America's got, and they may be right. But and Dubois is obviously IBF heavyweight champion, and we'll see. He's got a big defense against Parker, Joe Parker, as Barry Jones calls him, Joe Parker, right? He's a good commentator, Barry Jones, but he's not a very good puncher, thankfully. He's a better commentator than he was a puncher. 1 KO, although he dropped Acelino Freitas, which is nuts. But he won't be remembered. As Prince Patel said, no one remembers Barry Jones. I don't want to be like Barry Jones. I mean, to be fair, it's a bit unfair to Barry. Barry, won the title, but he fought no one good and beat no one good, really. No disrespect to Barry. I mean, no disrespect to Barry. Like I said, anyone who steps through the ropes at any level, you respect to some extent. But, it doesn't mean you can't call a spade a spade. And as I said, I mean that in the garden utensil way, not in no ritualistical way. So don't be hating in the comments. Now, but Barry, he beat Wilson Palazzo, an average fighter for the WBO title, never defended it, got beaten up by Freitas. There's no disgrace in that, and then retired. He can't have made that much money, but he's a very good commentator, and his opinion is good. When he like with every guy in boxing these days, boxing commentary, they have to watch what they say. It's become, you can't speak your own opinion. But he has interesting insights, at least. But he's careful with what he says. So good on Barry. But, like you said, he's not going to be remembered as world champion like Prince Patel said, You don't want a career like that, and peanuts, and Steve Bunce. But he won the same title as De La Hoya. So what, man? Who else has... What other bums have won titles, Luis, I'm not going to talk about it. Off the top of my head, Luis Santana won and defended the world title twice, but he got knocked out both times. But he got disqualified against Terry Norris. I mean, there have been some bum world heavyweight champions. We all know that. I mean, world champions of any description. In fact, not so much heavyweight, because, when you're heavyweight, you have to have something to reach the top. You have to have a chin. You have to have a punch. You have to have something. You got to be able to hold a shot. You don't get no heavyweight champions who have a record like Barry of 18 wins, 1 KO. You just don't get that. All right? So, so future super fight. So, and you got to remember, there's cruiserweights are going to move up. Gilberto Ramirez won't. He's too small. He's already a bit chubby at cruiser. And Jay Opetaia is going to wax him if he fights him. Jay Opetaia is going to slap him up. And that's where it gets interesting. Opetaia, what's going to happen to Jay Opetaia? I'm a big fan of his. I'm not going to repeat about how I saw him before everyone else, but I did. I don't like to brag, but I'm going to brag. I recognized him because I saw, what did I see? I see the footwork. I see the viciousness. I see the speed. I see the accuracy, the power. He got everything, right? The problem with Jay Opetaia, he's now 29, by the way, and he's also a southpaw, which makes it awkward. They used to say, heavyweights can never be southpaws. We've never had a heavyweight southpaw champion. I mean, what a stupid thing to say. That's just the way it was. Michael Moore, I think, was a southpaw in the end. Regardless. So he's 29 now, Opetaia. He's in his prime. And after he's cleaned out the cruiserweight decision, Tyson's giving it. Look, you hear Tyson barking? He's still got some life in him, blood. Yeah, so my dog Tyson's still alive. He's hanging on. Yeah, there you go, Tyson. Go on, Tyson. Bark, bark, bark. Yes, brother, you like Jay Opetaia. My dog Tyson's a big Jay Opetaia fan. Yeah, that's why he was barking. So, Jay Opetaia's got a dog as well, and I respect people that love their dogs. So, now, the problem with Opetaia is obviously the size. He's rated, he's listed as 6'2". He may be 6'2". I mean, he was towered over by his, a couple of opponents, David Nika and Jordan Thompson, but he both dealt with him in 4 rounds. Although Nika, a big puncher, did make his legs dip a bit, but it didn't seem to faze Jay. He just carried on with his business and took care of business in style. He's brutal, he's vicious, he's Alexander, he's the conqueror. That's who Jay Opetaia is. He's the Samoan conqueror, the Samoan Alexander. Yeah, you feel me? Now, can he go up to heavyweight? Like I said, his body, I mean, you imagine, right? For back in the day, you had guys like Henry Cooper weighing 185, and Rocky Marciano weighed about 180 something, didn't he? Ali Frazier, when he first boxed was in the low 200s. Frazier as well, Even Mike Tyson was 218, but now these guys would be considered midgets and would have no chance, because everyone's like 250. I mean, gauge it. I think these days, to be a modern heavyweight, 240, 235, 240 is, well, I'm not saying the minimum, because obviously Usyk has shown that you can do it at 220. But Usyk is an exceptional talent who doesn't rely on brute force. He relies on skills, reflexes, intelligence, ring IQ. I hate that. That's so cringe. You notice how in boxing, right? People start using certain terms and use it again and again and again. Terms like, he's so great, ring IQ. He's downloading. He's downloading now the opposition. He's really good in the pocket. These idiots, man. Why can't they come up with something original? Yeah? So, but Opetaia is the whole package. The question is, has he got the size? Has he got the size? Now, hopefully he'll clean out the cruiserweight division. Okay? Now, who's left to clean out in the cruiserweight division? Well, there's only one really, isn't there? Apart from Opetaia. Gilberto Ramirez. Zurdo Ramirez. Now, come on, man. Get real. Be serious. I mean, what I mean by that is there's just one fight left for Opetaia, and I'm pretty sure he'll batter Ramirez. I think he'll stop him in 10. Who else is? I mean, Chris Billiam-Smith. Don't be serious, man. Listen, man. I don't talk to police. You get me? I don't talk to no police. No comment, blood. I've never grassed. I wouldn't grass, snitch, anything. You know what? A lot of these gangsters that pretend to be bad boys, they work with the police and they do all kinds of grassing. That's how they stay gangsters and don't get nicked. Look into it. But this is a boxing channel, not a gangster channel. Not one of them hard men channels, right? But, you know, if they matched Jay Opetaia with Chris Billiam-Smith, I'd call the police. I'd be like, look, I think there's about to be a serious assault. Someone might get badly hurt, possibly killed. And I think we need to stop this. So, you know, yeah. So if they matched Jay Opetaia with Chris Billiam-Smith, I'd bring the police and get them to stop the fight. Who else is there? You know, I mean, what is there? There's just nothing. Riakpor's just moved up, and he's not that great anyway. Who else is there? There's just nobody in the cruiserweight division. No one whatsoever. Even Sergei Kovalev is still rated unbelievably. According to BoxRec, Shavon Clark is number 21. I mean, come on, blood. He's not, you know, he's barely British title level. So, obviously, Opetaia's got one fight left. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, and I think he'll wipe him out. He might have a few difficult moments. Because Ramirez can box. And I underestimated his but it's not his countryman, but Benavidez is Mexican Ecuadorian. People always forget that. No one says, oh, David Benavidez is Ecuadorian. They also, he's Mexican. No, he's not. He's half Ecuadorian. No one says he's from Ecuador. Why? Well, because the Mexican thing sells. I don't know how many pay-per-views they buy in Ecuador, but I bet it's not a lot. So, Jay Opetaia will move up, I assume, after Ramirez. And he's Samoan, man. Well, he's half Samoan. I think he's might white Australian, and his dad's Samoan, but, you know, he looked very Samoan. And, you know, Samoans know how to put on weight, believe that. Some people say they're a bit fat, but Jay Opetaia ain't fat. He's ripped. He got fat, actually, he said, after the, I think it was after the Bradis fight, and he had to eat. He had to take a break, and he was sucking noodles through a straw and soup for 3 months. You imagine that? Every day, you know, eating such a pleasure. You imagine every day, what are you going to eat today? Oh, it's leek and potato soup. Oh, it's noodles again, you know. Oh, can you pass me my straw, please? You know, I mean, that's rough. And then he still went in again and won. And he went through the whole fight with a broken jaw for early rounds. I mean, I don't need to convince people that he's got heart and power and speed and accuracy and footwork. He's got it all. But we've seen a slight chink in that he has dipped his knees. But that's not a problem. Nika's a huge puncher. He landed flush. And Jay just carried on his business after that. So let's not read too much into that. I mean, Muhammad Ali almost got knocked out by Henry Cooper. Who's 185 pounds. You know, and British, European level. Okay? And I think Cooper was even winning on points. I think both fights, Cooper was ahead on points. In those days, only the refs, I think, in England, and maybe not world title fight, but only the ref would score a fight. If it was a non-title fight or a I think even British title fights, only the ref would score it. Not world title, I don't think. But when Cooper put Cassius Clay on the floor, you know, we don't know what the scorecard was. We don't know how the ref had it. But allegedly, people were there said Cooper was ahead. And he flattened Ali, who had been knocked out. Had the bell not saved him. So, you know, bear that in mind. So what? Jay's leg slightly dipped. Big deal. Biggest dealers. Maximus. Right? So my proposed super fight in, let's give Opetaia. He moves up after Ramirez, after he beats up Ramirez and pulps him. I'm looking for the debating on that because I'm pretty sure they'll have it evens. And I'm going for Opetaia stoppage. Or certainly a win. I mean, Bradis is extremely tough. Bradis went distance twice, even in aging Bradis. But after that, Opetaia will move up and he will bulk. Now, if he's 6'2" or 6 foot, let's say he is 6'2", genuinely. From one heavyweight, that's small. I think that's the same as Torres Jr. who's the big US prospect. He's going to fight the Corey King, Guido Vianello. So that'll tell us a lot about how serious Torres is as a prospect. Because remember, he was flattened by Jalolov. Watch my video about it. But he was only like 19 or something at the time. And Jalolov was like, had 200 amateur fights or something and like 8 pro fights. I'm not going to check that data. But yeah, so Opetaia, will he move up? Yes, I believe you will. I mean, modern technology, nutrition, supplements, PEDs, okay. You don't need PEDs to win, according to Ottawale, but that's why he doesn't win any big fights. He's a bum. He pushes the vax. His trader is a bum. Everyone connected to him is a bum, including his girlfriend, who seems to have dumped him. But yeah, so... I can see Jay moving up to 235. I mean, he weighs in at 200. I think that's a limit now, right, for cruiser. They changed it all the time. They used to have a time when it was 190 according to WBC or one of the titles, and 195 according to another one of the organizations, and then I think it's 200 now. I'm not going to let my OCD get the better of me in check. I don't care. I'm fairly sure it's 200 pounds. So, he may come in the ring. He might put in 15 kilos. I mean, not kilos, pounds. 15 kilos. Kilos are gay, by the way. I hate. Now the whole of amateur boxing is about kilos now, but sometimes I hear pros from Britain talking kilos. I'm like, why are you talking kilos, blood? This is the pro game. Don't talk in kilos no more. That's gay. That is gay. Okay. Kilos are gay. Do you know what? I'm just looking at Opetaia. I can't tell you. Do you know how many fighters there have been called Opetaia? It's obviously a very common nickname, right? There's an American one, obviously a Samoan one, loads of Aussie ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There have been 13 fighters, according to BoxRec, called Opetaia. That's weird, isn't it? Because the Samoans are only 250,000 Samoans around the world. Okay. So I think Opetaia can get to 235. No problem. 235. And retain his speed. Yeah. And his punching power will improve, obviously, because he's bigger. Yeah. Yeah. His chin will get better. In the old days, when they didn't really know about nutrition, supplement, and PEDs, when people would move up, you'd worry about their chin. But now you see guys like Pacquiao will get up from flyweight to whatever. What's a light middleweight or something. And they take the shots. Or David Gay is a good example. He was chinny at light heavyweight, but when he moved up to heavyweight, he was taking the shots. So what do you know about that, homeboy? So I think Opetaia will move up to 235. Okay? And he'll be comfortable at it. Itauma has been fighting at the moment. Like, remember, he's only 20, right? So his last fight was against Dempsey the Bum McKean, and he weighed 249. Let's look at his weights. 249. Oh, he put on 10 pounds between Marius Vak and McKean. I mean, I think he would be around 239 in the fight before. So he would be around 240 for most of his fights. Right? 2 of his fights went the distance, which is odd. He was 240 then and 247. But even he admitted, Itauma, he was disappointed with himself. And he said, he did admit in an interview, I wasn't really training as hard as I should have done. And I think it bucked him up, like the Carl Thompson defeat bucked up David Gay. And everyone else he's basically knocked out in the first round, just about. McKean went around. Right? Garber, Bolos, I don't even know, Buchetta, Ibarra, Bode. He's knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys out of 11 fights in a round. Wack managed to make it to the second round. Ilya Mizenchev managed to make it to the second round, and these 2 guys early on in his career made it the whole distance, which was weird, man. But they're both very tough guys, but still. So I'd expect Moses. You know what? Like young heavyweights, even you look at guys like Lennox Lewis, they put on like 20 pounds and stuff like that from when they turn pro to when they actually win the title or stay at title level. So, I think Ituama will. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes as high as 260 at some point. He's not tall. He's listed at 6'2.5". But I think 250 is the right weight for him, probably for his career. I don't think his body will grow that much. He seems to have grown very quickly. So actually, no, I don't think he'll go as high as 260. I think he'll stay at 250, which is still huge. You know, it's still a huge weight, a massive man. So we'll get 250-pound Itauma. He's a 235 J Opetaia. He might even be able to push to 240 Opetaia. You know, which is Jay's weight, to be honest. What happens? This is the question. Well, it's all about timing, you know. It's all about timing. As I said, Itauma's 20. Opetaia's 29, just turned 29. If this fight happens, I see it happening in 2 years. Maybe, let's think, Itauma. 2-3 years, maybe 4 years, right? In which case, you know, as a heavyweight, Opetaia would be, say, you know, between 31 and 33, which is a peak for the modern heavyweight, certainly. Itauma will still be very young, 22, 23, 24, but, you know, he's so physically and mentally mature, I don't have a problem with that. Is he, I mean, I don't know, man. If he's already, like, nudging on world class, and McKean was world class rated, he'd only been beaten by Ergovic in 12 rounds. You know, if he's nudging that at 20, I mean, what's he going to be like at 30? I mean, it's nuts. But so what happens in the fight? Wow, I don't even want to make a prediction on this fight, you know? Firstly, we'd have to see Opetaia fight at heavyweight. We'd have to see how he feels away. I think with modern technology and supplements, etc., he'll be fine. He'll be muscled 235, I reckon. And Itauma's not super ripped, but, you know, that doesn't matter, you know? People say, oh, it's not a bodybuilding contest. But yeah, it isn't a bodybuilding contest. But that doesn't mean that what shape your body is in doesn't make a difference to how you fight or how you perform. With heavyweights, they can carry a bit of flab or a bit more fat because you know, they don't need to make the weight limit. But having said that, having lard on you as an athlete does not help any athlete unless, you know, they're walking 200 miles across Antarctica, and that fat will keep them walking. You get me? So, and he isn't fat at time. I'm just saying that, like, he isn't as ripped as Gay J or Vladimir Klitschko were. What happens? It's just too hard to tell at this point. You can't really call it. If it were gonna happen tomorrow, well, not tomorrow. If it were gonna happen in 6 months' time, I'd have to say Opetaia hasn't had time to get used to the weight, even though he's so much more experienced. And it'd be a super interesting fight, but he'd probably come in at 220, you know, and be giving up maybe too much weight, and it will be his first fight at heavyweight. Opetaia probably spars massive heavyweights in the gym. He spars Ituama Jr., who's a huge puncher. Oh, he's the other guy. You know, when they're talking about the future of the heavyweight vision, Ituama Jr., man, he's my boy. He looks like Jason Momoa, but much cooler. You know, he can bang. You know, he's from the Cook Islands. He's an islander. You know, the future seems to be the heavyweight division might be islanders. Okay, so yeah, throw Ituama in the mix, man. We got some good upcoming heavyweights, and people. The heavyweight division is never that deep in the pros. You know, because there aren't that many people that are that big. The average. And you got to remember, when the average, the weight that a fighter weighs in at is not his walk around weight. You know, you put on a stone and a half, or, you know, let's say just 20 pounds, you know, for their walk around weight. If you're Ricky Hatton, you got to put on about 50 pounds because he's a fat, disgusting pink pig who eats at the trough all day. Puts his huge fat pink face in the trough, breakfast after breakfast after breakfast, and washed down by like 30 Guinnesses and a bit of yayo. Right, a pig. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know what the average weight is. It depends what country you go to and all that, and blah 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 blah. But you know, if you walk around weight, I don't know what the average weight is in the UK. Say, let's say the USA. If it's Texas, it's probably about 300 pounds. If it's the UK. I mean, I don't know. Probably the average guy. The average guy in half decent shape probably weighs about 12 and a half stone, I'd say. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, what will happen? I keep avoiding the question. What will happen? What will happen? Okay, timing's everything in life. and in boxing. You know, timing is so important. Who you meet, when you meet them, what mentality you have. I've just seen a picture on my TV. I'm actually watching one of my own videos, and with Opetaia next to Ituama, and Ituama is so much bigger. I mean, so much bigger. But like I said, size isn't everything. You know, that's what Tyson Fury says when he gets his little Corey out, you know, in front of Guido Vianello. He sits there laughing in Italian. Hey, Tyson, what is this thing between your legs? Let me show you what an Italian Corey looks like. And then he brings out his great wanging aubergine. Look, you see this? And Tyson drops his knees and starts crying. She goes, hey, Guido, please don't tell Paris about how big your Corey is. You know, please, she's only had my Corey. I don't want to know what a real Corey looks like. Guido's like, hey, you're a wife. You think an Italian man like me want to make love to a woman like your Paris? She's okay, but please, we have a million more beautiful women in Italy than Paris, okay? The Corey Kings, like I said, he's fighting. It's a super fight, Richard Torres. So, what would happen? Again, it's all about timing. I don't know. Let's say they're both at their peak weights and had enough and their peak time. You'd have to just guess at this point. You know, maybe people would expect a firefight and they would say, oh, this will never go the distance. Well, they've said that about so many fights. I remember Evander Holyfield, Foreman, they go, there's no way this is going the distance. And I was like, even at the time, I was a little youth, and I was like, hang on, they both got great chins. Holyfield's not a massive puncher. Foreman's slow. I go, I can see this going the distance. And I didn't know shit about boxing then. So, but, you know, you never know. It could go the distance, you know. I think they'll both be respectful of each other's power, you know. And both have question marks, especially as heavyweight. Itauma hasn't been tested at all, ever. Pro or amateur. And we've yet to see his chin tested. He's got a huge head on him, although half of that is his afro. You know, maybe his afro makes his head look bigger, but I think he's got a solid heavyweight head. Opetaia's head's not as big, but, you know, he can clearly take a punch. It's Samoan chin. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning slightly towards Itauma because of the size, because there'll be a massive size difference, you know. And you know, I mean, Jay's got great timing and footwork, but Itauma's also got very good timing. And for such a big man, he's very accurate and quick. I would lean towards Itauma at this point, just being the natural heavyweight. You know. That I mean, if like I said, there's not much in the height allegedly, but in the frame, Itauma's frame is so much naturally bigger. So I think that would give him the advantage. But we'll wait and see. I mean, I'm looking to a future. Anything could happen. Itauma could get chinny. I doubt it. Yeah, Opetaia might get chinny at heavyweight. You know, you just don't know. Or Opetaia might get beaten by Ramirez. I don't think so. Hopefully he batters Ramirez. You know. But let's wait and see. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be doing some more. Like I said, only heavyweights. Only the heavyweights. The Kangs. Because they're the Kangs. And the future, Opetaia, Djibam, unless he gets ironed out in between. Jalolov, Teramoana Jr. Did I already say Opetaia? Did I already say Itauma? Them two. Torres. They're the future. Peace in the Middle East.